Peter retrieved that camera that had sunk and was shocked to see what had been recorded under it.
And we're going like, oh my Lord, this is...
Okay, so that video was a beautiful example of synchronicity. Go back and watch it. Look at the footage that they got. And most people don't realize it's not just per happenstance that happened, that all those things were lined up. And what I needed to tell you all is, maybe you guys are intuitives and you feel the universe winding up, pulling back, and about to release some stuff. So you guys need to be prepared for it and really live in expectation and be open to experiencing and capturing some beautiful phenomena like that drone stuff, the plasma, all that stuff. That's a distraction. I want you guys to practice something that I always practice, which is to say, you know, if there's going to be that person who's going to have that next level contact, it's going to be me. And I'm going to catch it and be able to document it in a way, because I'm a logical, critical, discerning person. And you guys know I teach critical thinking on my channel. But there are some things that are going to happen for people who will acknowledge it and be conscious of it. Because all that drone stuff, it's just telling you, be conscious. You need to look up. You need to be awake, and you need to be aware, because the truly cool stuff that will go down. It was kind of like during, in the 2020, 2021, 2019, 2020, 2021, there's a lot of, I need to do a recap of that, because there's a lot of stuff that went down that I don't even think people were aware of, but long video. Prepare yourself. But if you're a person and being a critical thinker like myself, it doesn't mean that you won't see and experience a level of phenomena that most people would call it spiritual. They would call it God. And instead, what people are going to realize is that perception thing that I teach you all, which is reality is a lot more expansive than you think. And what you guys keep thinking of as spiritual, it's really just reality. And if people can understand that they're experiencing reality, but they're experiencing reality like the cavemen in Plato's cave allegory, if they could grasp that they're not actually perceiving reality, they're just staring at your senses render you blind. And when you have a more expansive set of senses that allow you to perceive reality, then you begin to understand just how blind human beings are, and just how gullible they are, and just how deceivable. I mean, people worship Elon Musk. Like, I'll leave it there. Anyway, go back and watch that video. It's a really good example of synchronicity. And synchronicity in some hoodoo-y concept. It's not woo-woo. It's not witchy. Just in your environment on planet Blue, I try to help people to understand reality is more, it is more expansive than you guys understand. And if you would allow yourself to have a deeper and more, if you allowed yourself to have a deeper connection with yourself, you will then be able to begin to filter through the nonsense in your environment so that you can then have an actual grasp on reality. Because I don't know if you guys have realized it, but having social media should teach you just how insane most human beings are, and how insanity has been rebranded as normality. And when insanity has been when insanity has been rebranded as normality, you're in the upside down. But what you must understand about your reality is that it's been so propagandized, it's so chock full of lies, right? Chock full of lies, chock full of programming, that you really have to begin to learn how to, what is the image is, you have to relearn how to read the map. So if you've got a map, most people don't know how to read a map these days, and I'll draw this to a close really quickly, but there are some concepts that you need to understand because there's a lot to be taught. But most people don't know how to read a map. So a person who doesn't know how to use a compass and they don't know how to longitude, all that nonsense, they don't know what they're looking at. Most of you guys don't know what you're looking at. And so one of the core concepts you have to grasp in order to reorient yourself into an actual grasp of reality is literal critical thinking. You have to become highly, highly intuitive. Okay. And in order to become intuitive, you need to first know who you are. If you do not know who you are not a critical thinker. You're not discerning. You just go along with whatever somebody tells you to think. However, somebody chews up what a current event occurred. You know that happens on the internet. Whoever they tell you what to think about that event, you just go with it. Your grasp and perception of reality is limited, and you are truly the person in Plato's cave allegory trying to decipher the shadows on the cave wall, and you are calling that reality. Most people don't realize that. You think that those shadows are reality, and you don't realize that up above you there is light, and there are people who have been in that cave, like myself, who've gone up to the light, and we're coming back down into the cave trying to tell you all, hey, I'm a fellow cave dweller. Just want to tell you that what you're sensing as reality is not reality. And that if you could adjust yourself to not be afraid of the light, and if you could be brave enough to climb up, and to allow yourself to understand how expansive reality actually is, you will be in a better place. And person after person after person will be delivered from the cave. But that's a longer story. Take this, digest it. Remember, be awake and aware of what's going on in your environment, because some of you are going to capture some truly spectacular stuff that's about to come out.